Just tell me you're here. Hi, Kevin. Malcolm's here. Louis Faber's here. Kevin's here. We're all coming in. This is a community. This is a community we're building. We're going to be here at 11 o'clock every morning, UK time. We're going to get people in from all over the world. So please share, like, tag, comment where you're coming in from. We're going to make this a wonderful day. Today, we're going to be focusing on openness. What is openness? What are we talking about when I mean openness? Being open to what's going on inside us. Let's have a conversation. Let's get this thing moving. So please share, like, tag. We'll give it another minute or so, and then we're going to be moving ahead. Bradley Cash is watching. He's in the house. Give a round of applause for Bradley. Wonderful, great guy. Helped me out a few years ago, moving everything from heads up. Brilliant guy, Bradley. Thanks for coming in. Fantastic. So share, like, tag. Let's get everybody on here. We've got a brilliant session this morning. We've got a session that's going to deal with all this kind of uncomfortable stuff, how we're going to actually bear it as we're going through this time. I heard on the news this morning, they're talking about being kind of like this for 3 to 6 months. We've got to learn how to get through this in a really effective, high quality way so that we're not pushing ourselves, we're not killing ourselves, trying to be creative, trying to do new things, opening new businesses. Goodness knows what we're being pressured into by a lot of people now. Don't waste your time, don't waste your time. That's on one side. On the other side, we might have people that are just crashing, getting very scared, getting very lonely, going down that slippery slope into the pit. So we want to keep everybody in the middle, understand that we're going this in the long run. We're going to take our time about this. We're going to learn about ourselves about this, how we're reacting about this. And I'm here to pass on to you my knowledge and experience of crisis and what we can do and build this community so we have our own support and community as we go through this. So Bradley's saying, hi, Dov, thank you very much. Loving the mental health workout during this lockdown. Thank you, Bradley, for that. Yeah, it is a lockdown. Our freedoms have been very limited from us, taken away almost. It's okay, right? It's not an easy situation. A lot of us are grieving for certain things that we're not able to do anymore. Our businesses, some of us, our businesses have completely either collapsed or just been taken away, or our jobs. We're worried about our friends and family, and we're worried about ourselves. Maybe some of us have experienced loved ones being sick or even passed away. There's a lot of grieving going on. It's not just about being excited and, you know, taking the best and having the most wonderful time with our kids. And time is moving on. All right, so we have to realize this. We have to be compassionate with ourselves about this. Ben is watching. Great to have you, Ben. Ben Sedley was on last night on the talk show, and I've got some great stuff that we learned from Ben. We've also had Amy Murrell on the talk show last night. You can get these recordings still on my Facebook or on my YouTube page, and you will be able to watch what we learned from them, but I'll try and bring some of that this morning. Kevin Dykes is in. Fantastic. Share, like, tag, put it in the comments where you're coming from. Let's build this community. Let's get to know one another. There's some people coming in here every day now, the same people. That's fantastic. This is what we've got to build. We've got to build our repertoire. We've got to build our skills. And we've got to understand that we're all here. You know, we're all here in it together. And this is a very, very, very important part of this. It's not all about workout. It's about togetherness. Okay, and we learned a lot of that from Ben last night about the power of thinking about each other, the power of reaching out to other people. And this is really important. Thomas is in the house. A round of applause for Thomas. Fantastic. And Debbie's here. Wow. So wave to Debbie. Ben, look, guys, this is about coming in and spending a small part of the day together, right? It's late morning in the UK. It's at night time, if I'm not mistaken, in New Zealand, where Ben's coming in from. So it's all about just making space, all right? If you were listening to Amy last night, Amy is a wonderful, wonderful woman with extraordinary experiences that she gave over to us. She lives like this every day of her life. Okay, we're living like this because there's a coronavirus out there. She has a genetic condition that she is hyper allergic, could die almost from many, many, many things that are around. And she lives like this. And she gave over amazing, amazing advice and tips for us. And one of them was that you try and expand yourself, be aware of what's going on and expand, be open to what's happening to you and expand. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So that's what it's about. Ben was bringing in about how even when we're thinking of somebody else, even when we're considering somebody else, even when we're making some committed action towards somebody else, whether it's a telephone call or whether it's just, you know, going shopping for somebody that can't do shopping. My personal example is my next door neighbor phones me up on a regular basis and asks me if I need anything. Now, as it happens, I don't really need anything, but the fact that he is calling me, I know that there's somebody thinking about me. I know if I'm in trouble, I know that there's somebody I can call. Makes a world of difference. So even while we're watching this, let's consider together, who is it that you could call? Let's consider who is it that you could call if you needed somebody. Put it down in the comments. Who is it you can consider, even think about and help, whether it's a neighbor, a friend, a family member, it doesn't matter, a stranger. Ben was telling us last night, even trying to help his charities and giving charity, and that's very important as well. So put in the comments who you could help, who you could think about, and who you could turn to. And if there's nobody you can turn to, well, then that's what we are here for. We're a community in ourselves. We're trying to build this mutual help toward each other, and surely one of us will be able to know somebody that can help you out. So bring it in. Let's use this time to help and have self-compassion and compassion for each other that are in this group. This is what this is all about. So openness is about being willing and open to feel those emotions that are going through us and acknowledge the thoughts that we're having. And Ben was saying this wonderfully, where a lot of us are grieving. We're feeling sad. We might be feeling frustrated. We might be feeling angry. There's a lot of emotion that we're going to be experiencing during these days. And if we're in this for the medium term at least, then it's really important that we sit down, slow down, and begin to recognize what's going on inside our bodies. Now, this is an exercise that takes practice, because generally speaking, when we start to feel and recognize what's going on in our bodies and our minds, sometimes a lot of the time this is very, very uncomfortable, and so we then dash away from it, or we do something else, or we make ourselves busy and we try to run away from this. So what I'm trying to say just now is, let's go back and slow down, sit down and just contemplate. Try to identify what's going on in your body. Hear those thoughts. When you have thoughts, see these clouds behind me? Well, normally these clouds are moving by. And I suggest you take one of those thoughts and you just kind of pin it on one of the clouds. And as you're sitting there, just watch it slowly go on by. Amy came up with a wonderful exercise, and that is, while we're doing this, put a hand on your heart. Feel the warmth of your hand against your skin. And as she told us, it produces oxytocin. That's the love drug, the natural one that we have inside our bodies. This will give us that warmth that feeling of closeness, that feeling of being loved that we crave as human beings. We crave this physical contact as human beings. And at the moment, we're not allowed physical contact. So it's not all about jumping around. This is not a motivational session. This is not a, go to the gym and hear the loud music. This is about reality. This is about dealing with what's going on and not ignoring it. So just put your hand on your heart there. Take a deep breath through your nose, out through your mouth. And just be with me. Connect with me while we're doing this. Louis saying, hi, Dov. I'm now working from home in my quiet room for 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. What would you recommend to maintain my concentration levels? Well, great question, Louis. One of the things about concentration is we do need to give space in between. We are not good at concentration for long times. It can tire us out. And we know that concentration starts to go down even after about 15, 20 minutes, certainly after 45. So give yourself space. Give yourself breaks. Even if you feel you'll need some downtime, give yourself the downtime. You can become more creative afterwards and much more productive. I would imagine one thing in your work is to be productive. It's not just about working through the 8 hours. It's about being productive in those 8 hours. So just even as you sit there with me and take this time out, which is extremely contributing to your focus. Because now what you're doing is you're practicing focus. You're practicing focus inwardly. And as we practice focus inwardly, it's like a muscle. It's like our brain is doing a focusing exercise. So hand over heart, give yourself that boost of oxytocin and focus in. Identify like a scientist, like an observer. Identify for something going on in here. Maybe there's something going on here. Maybe you have tingling going on here. Whatever it is, just focus in on it.